Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be talking about the less comfortable side of our mindfulness practice as we're developing self-awareness, and how when we enter into these practices that give us hope of finding peace and stillness and calm, we have this expectation that it's all going to be pleasant, and whenever I'm doing my practice, I should be calm and it should be bringing peace to my being. And then when we start kind of entering into it and we have those moments in meditation or in practice where there's discomfort or there's doubt, or we're finding things that are a little bit troubling in our mind space, in our reality, it's like this disappointment, like, this wasn't supposed to be this way. This is supposed to be a peaceful practice. This is supposed to be bringing me more ease in my life. And we can feel kind of disenchanted with what we're doing, with the practice. And we think, well, it's not working then. If I'm not feeling peaceful, then it's not working. But the point of the practice is not that you always feel peace in it, but that you're building towards a more peaceful state. You're building towards that loving acceptance, that calm, the being with versus the fighting and the combating. But as you're moving towards that, right, it takes this process of also discovering all the blocks that you have to that peace. So as you're becoming aware, yes, you have parts of the practice that bring you back to center, and those are very, very important, right? That's why we say that's the foundation of our practice, are the exercises like breathing and just being able to come back to the breath and settle on the breath and find that internal place of peace and comfort. And those give us the foundation so that when we are a little destabilized or we find things that are difficult, we have the techniques to come back to that very basic foundation that does settle us and bring us into this present moment awareness, just of our surroundings, just of what's going on right here. But as we're kind of building and growing the practice, and we're wanting to be able to find that peace and that center no matter what's going on in our lives. So not just when we're sitting in our nice little meditation corner and everything's quiet and everyone's doing what we think they should be doing and then we find peace. But we want to be able to find peace even in those disturbing moments, even when things are a little bit chaotic or they're not going our way. But in order to be able to build that skill is we have to start finding what blocks we have in us towards that. So the internal beliefs or mindsets, the way that we treat ourselves or we interpret the actions of others that take us out of that centered state. And so yes, we create this practice that gives us this little refuge and we can return to. But as we're building it to kind of take that out into everything, we are going to run into discomfort. We are going to butt heads with our old beliefs that tell us something is wrong here. I'm not enough. I'm not meeting expectations. This person caused my anger. Blaming the world outside. And those are just, right, like if we approach them with the mindset and the expectation, I should never have those, and in my practice I should always be peaceful, we can feel a frustration when they come up. And like I said, we can feel disenchanted with the practice. The practice is not working. I'm like sitting here being self-aware and all of a sudden all this garbage is coming up and I'm having to sit with the ugly, right? The ugly side of self, if we label it that. That's why we want to kind of heal that expectation that everything should always be comfortable and the practice should always be lovely and peaceful. and there'll be no distractions, and nobody will doubt us, or we won't have those negative beliefs within ourselves. That's unrealistic. So part of the practice in developing that peace anywhere is that we can see the discomfort within us. Now, as our practice is growing and we're starting to kind of sit with and notice in those situations out in the world when someone triggers us or something doesn't go our way, and we feel that tension building within us, or the grasping or the desire, we have this little part of us that's aware of it. And sometimes, that awareness can be very uncomfortable because you're pointing to the things within you that are creating destabilization. So it's uncomfortable to see them. But without that mindful awareness, you were just going through those experiences with no awareness of it. So you were going through the motions, you were feeling anxious, you were feeling angry, but nobody was aware of it. So you knew you didn't feel great, but it was like, where was the practice to recognize that, and kind of the why and your role in that experience? So in your mindful practice, or your self-awareness practice, or your meditation practice, or whatever it is, it's not going to be comfortable all the time. But in those moments when we notice the discomfort and we notice the combative behavior within us, we bring mindful presence there and acceptance there too. So that when we notice it, we can recognize, I always acknowledge, oh, there you are again, hello, combative self. And then we choose to let go. And we choose to come back to peace, and we choose to release those thought patterns that are keeping us stuck in discomfort. So no, the practice will not always feel lovely and peaceful and quiet. That sometimes when you sit and you go into your awareness, it's going to feel chaotic. You're going to start noticing the busy mind, the monkey mind, the agitated mind, the anger, but you sit there too. You can be present with self there too, and you can be the conscious observer there too. And when you start bringing the acceptance into those experiences, then that awareness starts teaching you something. What am I grasping onto that's causing this discomfort? What beliefs am I replaying that made this situation so terrible? Or even if you're in a quiet practice, but there's thoughts coming up all around about, I'm not doing this right, or I'm still feeling uncomfortable, bring the awareness there. And what am I creating here in my meditative, mindful practice that's bringing discomfort to this experience? And so the intention is, even if there is discomfort in the practice, it's building awareness, and it's building understanding, and it's building your ability to let go. When it starts arising, you start feeling that tension and the grasping, let go. You see yourself doing it. So it might be uncomfortable at first when you see it arising, I'm not very peaceful right now. Great, you just noticed it happen. Let go and choose to redirect towards the good, redirect towards the things that'll serve you. And that is how we kind of use the practice through discomfort, through those blocks of what's keeping us from peace. So yes, the practice is peaceful. Yes, it gives us those moments of stillness and quiet, but it's also turbulent. And part of it's bringing the awareness to that so that we can bring acceptance there too and find peace there too. So I invite you this week to notice, are there places you've gotten disenchanted with your self-awareness practice or your meditation because you had expectations of it never being uncomfortable, never being chaotic? And just see if you can bring acceptance there too. Learn how to strengthen that ability to find peace there too. If you enjoy these talks and would like to join us for a group mindfulness session or individual coaching, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you all very soon.